My dear pupils, I greet you all. How is your life? Hope you are fine. Yeah, we are back for science lesson 31. This is your teacher of science, Teacher Puga John. We are still handling our subtopic, keeping sheep. Keeping sheep. Last time we talked about activities carried out on a sheep farm. We looked at activities like docking, and we said that docking means cutting a sheep's tail short. Cutting a sheep's tail short. We talked about activities like deworming. And we said that deworming is the act of using medicine to kill internal parasites. You use medicine to kill internal parasites. That is deworming. Using medicine to kill internal parasites. Today we are going to look at another activity, and this is going to be shearing. 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 It is S-H-E-A-R-I-N-G. Shearing. Can we all spell it again? And we are saying shearing is commonly done in sheep. It is an activity mainly done in sheep. So he is saying shearing is the removal of wool from a sheep. Shearing is the removal of wool from a sheep. What is shearing, peoples? Yes? Good. Shearing is the removal of wool from a sheep. Remember, we said that wool keeps a sheep warm. Wool keeps a sheep warm. But when it accumulates, when a sheep has a lot of wool, it is not good. So you have to reduce some wool. You have to remove. You have to cut. You get it? Cutting of wool from a sheep. Cutting of wool from a sheep, or removal of wool from a sheep, is what we call shearing. What is shearing, all of you? Again. We are saying that adult sheep or unadult sheep are sheared once a year. A sheep must be sheared once a year, one time in the whole year. We are saying shearing should start at 8 months. Lambs must not be sheared until they reach 8 months. If a lamb reaches 8 months, then you can carry out shearing. You can shear it if it reaches 8 months. We are saying wool, after shearing, we can get wool. We get wool. And this wool is sold to wool processors. These wool processors use wool to make products like woolen blankets, to make products like woolen bags, woolen jackets, woolen carpets. So these wool processors turn wool into woolen blankets, woolen jackets, woolen carpets, and other products of wool. There is a point here you have to note that the best producer of wool is merino sheep. Merino sheep is the best producer of wool. Merino sheep is the best producer of wool. So when you're writing, this is a typing mistake, change this first M of the word merino to capital M. Merino sheep is the best producer of wool. Let us look at materials used to carry out shearing, to remove wool from a sheep. I've told you shearing means cutting of wool from a sheep or removal of wool from a sheep. Items or materials we use: you can use a pair of scissors, you can use a shearing machine. Shearing machine, you can as well use a pair of scissors. Children, I brought here a diagram showing a man shearing a sheep. Are you ready to see my diagram? Yes. If you are ready, put up your arm. Good. So my diagram is there. A man shearing a sheep. I hope you can see. The sheep is humble and it is being sheared. So he's trying to remove wool from a sheep. I told you that the best producer of wool among sheep is merino sheep. Merino sheep is the best producer of wool. I've also brought here another diagram showing shearing on a large scale. Yes, you can see how shearing is done. This time they are using a shearing machine. The other time, I think you can see, he is using a pair of scissors to carry out shearing. Is using a pair of scissors. I hope you can see. When we come to this diagram, these two people are using shearing machines. Hope you can see they are using shearing machine to carry out shearing. They are using a shearing machines. Yes. So another activity you need to know is hoof trimming. Hoof trimming. We are saying that hoof trimming is the cutting of overgrown hooves. Do you know hooves? Yes. Overgrown hooves. It is a very important practice farmers must do. Hoof trimming is done in sheep, it is done in goats, it is done in cattle. We are saying that we use a sharp knife to trim hoofs of animals. Don't cut the whole hoof. You just trim. Let us look at reasons for hoof trimming. Why do you think farmers need to trim hooves of animals? One, we are saying to make movements easy. Overgrown hooves may stop an animal from moving with ease. So when you trim, this animal moves with ease. So hoof trimming makes movement easy. It makes movement easy. Hoof trimming controls foot rot disease. It controls foot rot disease. I told you that foot rot is a disease common in livestock. Cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, it is common, that disease, foot rot. So we can control foot rot by hoof trimming. One of the ways of controlling foot rot in animals is trimming hooves of animals. Good. So I brought you also a diagram, another diagram showing hoof trimming. How is hoof trimming done? Hope you can see a farmer using a sharp knife and trying to trim the hooves. These are two hooves. So he's trying to trim in order to make them balance. Yes. My dear pupils, there is also another activity done on a sheep farm. You need to know that there are sheep which develop horns. Some sheep develop horns, others do not develop horns. So this activity is called dehorning. Dehorning. All of you say it. Dehorning or disbudding. Dehorning or disbudding. Dehorning or disbudding. Dehorning is done mainly when horns have come. Then disbudding is done before horns coming out. Dehorning is done when horns have appeared. Then disbudding is done before horns appear. So we have dehorning. Somebody may also call it disbudding. And we are saying that dehorning is the removal of horns from an animal. Dehorning is the removal of horns from an animal. What is dehorning? Children, what is dehorning? The removal of horns from an animal. These horns are not good. They are not good on the animal because they can easily injure other animals. They can as well injure the farmer. So we are saying that it is better, it is a very good practice for a farmer to remove horns from an animal. That practice where a farmer removes horns from an animal is called dehorning. Dehorning is the removal of horns from an animal. And we are saying disbudding is the act of preventing horns from growing. Disbudding, I've told you that dehorning you remove horns. Disbudding you prevent horns from growing. That is disbudding. Let us look at reasons for dehorning. Why do farmers dehorn their animals? 1. To make animals easy to handle. Dehorn the animals are easy to handle. It reduces risks of injuring others. It reduces risks of injuring other animals. It reduces risks of injuring a farmer. If an animal does not have horns, chances of injuring others are few. Risks of injuring others reduce if an animal does not have horns. Let us briefly talk about methods of dehorning. I've told you that dehorning is the removal of horns from an animal. So you can use methods like dehorning chemicals. Dehorning chemicals. You can use chemicals like you can use a caustic stick. You rub that place until you see blood coming out. So that method is called using dehorning chemicals. It is mostly done in lambs when these sheep are still young. Using a dehorning iron. This machine produces a gas and a heat which can burn the horn buds. Horn buds are burnt by a dehorning iron. When horn buds are burnt, it means that horns will not come. Horns will not come if you burn the horn buds. So we also have using a spoon dehorner or using tube dehorners. This is a mechanical method where you get a tube dehorner and try to pull out the horn. This one is mainly done when a sheep has developed horns. So you can use a tube dehorner to pull and remove the horns. So we have 3 methods of dehorning: using dehorning chemicals, or you can just say using chemicals, using a dehorning iron, using a spoon dehorner, or using tube dehorners. Methods of dehorning: using dehorning chemicals, using a dehorning iron, using tube dehorners. I brought here diagram showing a dehorning iron. I've told you that it is used to burn horn buds in order to stop horns from growing. So yes, it is there. It is called a dehorning iron. So you can use it to burn horn buds. Another diagram is a tube dehorner. You can see it. So it can help a farmer to remove horns from an animal. So I brought you my questions, just a few questions. I want you to answer these questions with a lot of care. Number 1, what is shearing? Number 2, how is shearing important for farmer? Number 3, why do farmers carry out hoof trimming? Number 4, define the following terms as used in animal husbandry. Please you add it. Define the following terms as used in animal husbandry. 1, dehorning. 2, docking. 3, shearing. A, dehorning. B, docking. C, shearing. And number 5, state any 2 products of sheep. What do we get from sheep? Which physical things can be got from a sheep? So they are just 5 questions. I want you to answer those questions with a lot of care. Play back this video at least 3 times before answering. Don't forget to underline your answers. Allow me say bye-bye.